Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IGN UK podcast. I'm your host for today, Rory Powers. To the right, grab the car, because we have the driver, the man himself.
Dale Driver.
And to my left, forget the jury, we've got the judge. It is Alicia. Now, we've got a lot of cool stuff to be talking about today. And the first one is probably the reason why I'm hosting this podcast. We're going to talk about Zelda Breath of the Wild. Which you said sounds like a mouthwash.
Yeah, no, I think it's a brand of Tic Tacs
They're
bringing out secretly. They're just going, Zelda.
It's probably apt we're talking about this because we've had quite a lot of feedback about it as well.
Yes.
For example, we had from William Cook. He said, I'm curious about y'all's view of Breath of the Wild. I can't say y'all.
What was that?
I read it verbatim and I can't do it.
Y'all's
Y'all's view
I'm like,
of the
who
Breath
is
of the
this
Wild.
y'all and why was he on the podcast?
He wants to know the highs and lows of the video, and Zelda was passively referenced, but it didn't seem to interest you. The US team seems very wowed. And then Cody Stafford said that he's a long-time listener from Florida, and to sum up, he basically, or she basically wants to know about it. I assume it's a he, Cody.
Well, could be either way.
Yeah.
Cody either way.
Well, they want to know, and they also say at the end, by the way, put Alicia in a room with a box of Dan movies so she might win at Keyword Countdown for one.
Wow, that was a burn.
Someone tweeted me the other day and they were like, so a few of the podcast listeners want to chip in together and get you an emergency Netflix account.
Emergency Netflix.
It's like, like this TV advert's filmed in black and white. It's just my face with like slow, sad
How
music
bad did you do in
This
Keyword
girl
Countdown?
knows no
She was
peace.
abysmal.
Oh, no.
Oh, I mean...
You didn't get Die Hard, you didn't get Speed, you'd never seen Speed.
So the only movie I'd seen out of all the ones last week was Die Hard.
Okay.
And that was
still
quite
didn't get it, though.
And you didn't get it?
Yeah.
I didn't get it. Well, it's because you'd said it earlier. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother trying to justify myself. I'm
Yeah.
just going to hang my head in the required position.
What payment tier is Emergency Netflix, by the way? I feel like that's a different bracket.
Because it's that kind of thing of like, well, how many
You have
months
to
are we
like
gonna
break a
get it
panel
for?
of glass and you get like a coupon that activates it. I think the reason that we didn't talk about Breath of the Wild was because we had the cutout obviously with the guys out at E3.
Yeah.
And I think they thought we were going to talk about Breath of the Wild and we thought they were going to talk about Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, exactly. We thought that they were seeing it over there, so it made more sense because they'd be playing it.
Yeah.
So we just left it for them, and yeah.
So I'm just going to take it as you guys were saving it for me to talk about.
Of course, Mr.
Thank
Powers.
you guys,
Resident
thanks so much.
expert.
So I was actually off sick the day of the Nintendo stream, which you may think would be a con. Yeah, exactly. So I think I watched maybe 3 hours of that stream. Like as soon as the trailer dropped, I was just glued to my laptop trying to find out everything that I could. And I absolutely love the look of it. It just looks like, Zelda's at a point now where we've had a very similar game every single year, every single couple of years. It's getting to the point where it does need to evolve, and I think this is the perfect level of evolution within that genre, and I think it's just what we need as well. And it's great because you have Eiji Aonuma, who's been working on the series since like 1998. I think his first one was like Ocarina of Time, which is one of the biggest ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the most famous.
That's like 18 years. Like he's been working on Zelda for longer than probably some of our listeners have been alive. Like that. So there's a amount of trust with an evolution of the franchise. That is it. You guys saw the trailer, parts of the trailer. I
watched most of the 30-minute demonstration as well.
Yeah.
And I'll just preface with, I'm not really a Zelda fan. I think the last one I played all the way through was Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. So we're really going back for that one.
Great game.
But I played Ocarina of Time. I don't think I actually ever finished Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
And that I'm sure is going to get me a lot of hate for that. But something about Zelda...
Get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
Something about Zelda just never really clicked with me, I think.
Yeah.
And I think this one definitely, like you said, looks like a good evolution of the series. But it feels like the evolution is the evolution that some games had 10 years ago.
Well, this is what Alex was saying, was that obviously a lot of the Americans, people who saw it over there at E3 and got a hands on, were just blown away. They're like, this is a Zelda game, but you can get all these different weapons and armor. And he did make the point where it's like, yeah, you can do that in a lot of games.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
I do think to a certain degree, these updates and these new features are magnified because of the fact that it is a Zelda game that hasn't had these features ever in the franchise.
Yeah. No, I think it's well, I mean, that's the thing that keeps the Zelda franchise going anyway. It's that sense of nostalgia. Like, people have grown up with these games. We're saying that like some of our listeners may not have, been around for the first ones, but some of us have literally, it's been like the Harry Potter of the gaming world.
Yeah.
That you've kind of grown up with the character. So when it comes to having a massive leap forward where, oh my gosh, suddenly you can travel in this open world environment.
You can cut grass.
Yes, you can climb a tree. That seems really revolutionary, even though we can do that in games like Fallout and, Dragon Age and other crazy games.
But I guess it's not just, we're just kind of like drawing on the one point is that these little updates in the way that the game is played. But also, so for example, I think they were showing off at E3 one plateau, like the starting area to adventure around, which they said, you could be given 2 hours and you wouldn't be able to see everything within that.
Wow.
And I believe that's 2% of the final map. This isn't like
so
an astronomical. It's a huge game. Usually in Zelda, you have your temples, your first 3, and then your preceding 7, or however many it is to complete the game. I think this one has all the temples, but then also has these things called shrines, which I guess are just like mini temples with puzzles where you can get additional items. They said there's over 200 shrines like scattered across the map.
But what's in between the temples and the shrines? Because my experience in the past of Zelda games is always is this. Especially in like Ocarina of Time, there's just this abyss in between.
Twilight Princess had a really big problem with that because the map for Twilight Princess was huge and it was quite a realistic game and it did look fantastic, but there was nothing there.
Yeah, no density.
Hyrule Field was giant, but there was nothing there. You would just use it to like go from one place to another. And Wind Waker, it was still a huge map, but even when you were sailing, it felt like you would just stumble across like a watchtower or an island or something. It was quite populated. So I think this one is hopefully, by using these shrines and other events and things you can do in between, building up and giving it more girth.
From what I've seen on that video, it seemed like that opening area was quite sparse.
Just to certain points, yeah. I do know what you're talking about, because when you come out and there's the old man,
maybe not in Zelda scale, but in just comparing to open world games and things like that. And that seems like unnecessary to me. It seems like it could be quite boring, like tracking across those.
I guess it depends as well, because at least I didn't see anything with a horse or Epona yet.
Yeah,
but we did see, you've got your endurance bar back, so Link can sprint now and climb. You've also got, I don't know if you guys saw this, like shield sledding. So if you're like the top of hills and things, you can go down on your shield and just like slide down. I think it does use up some of the durability, but little things like this that I'm sure will like make traversing so much quicker.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I wish that was a mode of transport in the real world. Can you imagine just going around
It could totally
London?
Be that if you want it to be.
Delays on the overground, it's dark, I got my shield, just head down London Bridge.
With the flooding, we would have been fine.
It would have been amazing, actually.
That would have been awesome. It's more like a surfboard then, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine that, just going down the Thames, like, I've got my Link shield.
Do you know the bit I noticed when you said about the climbing? Do you notice a bit when he like climbed up a rock face and then he was just like standing there looking over at the views, but he seemed like he was standing on something that you wouldn't be able to stand on in real life. It was a really vertical cliff face.
Oh yeah, when it's at like that point.
It reminded me of like Fallout when you're just randomly like glitching your way up a mountain or something.
This is Link. Link's a powerful guy.
I think Link needs like a Farah backpack. Just send off, throw master swords down at the ground, wrecking people.
So what did they say about the story? Do you know anything about that?
I do. I know a lot about this game. I've done my research. So the story, it's kind of, again, a different approach from previous Zelda games. It's kind of focusing on technology.
Okay.
Because obviously Link has this, like, it's called a Sheikah slate. It's essentially like a tablet or a smartphone.
Yeah, I love that.
Pretty much. He just carries it around and he can like use it to do all these different things.
See, it really has growing up with the audience.
There you
Modern
go.
Link.
Yeah. And the kind of theme that Anuma was kind of talking about was that kind of hinting at the possibility that this technology has actually ruined Hyrule. Because you're kind of walking around and it's all broken and crumbled and things are kind of like all stone, and that's the implication that all this introduction of technology has ruined the world.
That's really interesting. That suddenly it's getting very political.
Yeah, and also what's really cool about it is as soon as I saw it, and they have this clip that they showed during the presentation where you go out onto a mountain and you see this beautiful like sunset and you can look across the hills, and I was like, this is a Studio Ghibli movie. This is actually like a Japanese painting, and obviously in Studio Ghibli that's a huge theme in their movies is like technology coming in and industrialization and ruining like natural habitats. And whether that was an intentional thing or it's just fitting together so nicely, it just seems like, again, like a really interesting direction to take the game. We also know that Ganon is back in some form, as he always is.
I was going to say, is that a surprise?
Yeah. Oh, God. What's up with that guy? No Groose, unfortunately, one of my favorite Zelda characters.
See Link's waking up again?
Link's waking up with a voice. A voice is waking him up, which I believe is the perfect way to give an introduction to how this game is going to change. You've never, well, aside from a couple exceptions, never really heard audible dialogue in a Zelda game before. And apparently not. I don't know if it's going to be a lot of characters, but this character specifically will be talking to you throughout the game, which is really exciting. I'm
cool.
head over heels in love with this game.
Well, you're sold.
I'm really, really excited. Unfortunately, I'm one of the people in the office who hasn't got to play it yet. I get to play it next week. So I'm going to hold off. I'm going to try and be, impartial reasonably until I get to see it.
So it's definitely Wii U.
Definitely Wii U, definitely
NX.
NX.
Oh, definitely NX.
Definitely NX.
Okay.
And apparently the experience will not be any different on the consoles, aside from, I guess, resolution.
Well, what Alex was saying from what he saw at E3, the NX did not look as good, because they said they played part of it and it just didn't look as good as what we saw kind of at the conference. They thought that they might have been playing it on a different system, because graphically it didn't look as shiny.
Well, presumably they would be playing it on the Wii U in E3. I don't think anyone's even seen the.
So maybe they were
NX
showing like the NX version of it, but they didn't announce that.
I see.
Yeah.
And then what they actually played was the Wii U version. Who knows, really?
Who knows?
I mean, is it that graphically impressive anyway?
I think it's very pretty.
It looks pretty and nice, and I like the art style. I mean, it's cell shaded, isn't it? Really, but it's a version of cell shading. But I think
that's
compared to like some PS4 and Xbox games, obviously it's never going to be comparable because it's on the Wii U for a start.
Well, it's quite a shame because when they originally did the trailers and made the announcements for the Wii U, they had a little demo kind of like demonstrating the capabilities and the resolutions, and they had a little Zelda clip. And everyone thought that was going to be Zelda Wii U. And it was quite realistic, quite high resolution, very different from Skyward Sword. It looked amazing. It looked fantastic. And I was like, yeah, this is great because I love Twilight Princess. It's one of my favorite art styles in the Zelda world. And they haven't done that. They've gone with more of a Skyward Sword. And maybe, you can be skeptical and say that's because maybe the resolution and the graphics isn't at that point where they feel like it can compete with other games.
Well, if their world is as big as they say it is as well, then, something's got to give.
Exactly. And if that's some markings on a tree branch, that's fine with me. Just do it as a big brown block. That's totally fine. So that's one of the games that I'm excited about this week. Now, we got the opportunity to do something ridiculous.
You did.
Ridiculous.
We did. Yeah,
Dale got to film it.
Dale was the responsible adult.
Yeah, designated
we
driver.
somehow got approved to do a feature on Street Fighter V. Now, if you don't know Street Fighter V, they are just releasing the story mode, which is going to be launched, and you can have like your story play through the characters. There's cutscenes, battles, adding a bit more onto the game. We got to play through the story mode, completely smashed.
So drunk. I mean, so drunk we called it Drunken Master. Drunken, I understand. Master, I feel, is perhaps false advertising.
Maybe master of being drunk. That was probably what it was.
Rather than fighting.
So the rules that we played were, if you lose, you have to take a shot. If you win, you get to give a shot. If you get a perfect, which is winning and not having any health taken off you, everyone else has to take a shot. And you drink every time you hear someone say Hadouken, Shadaloo, or Black Moon.
Shadaloo!
Which are surprisingly common.
Oh my gosh. There were cutscenes where just like, Shadaloo and the Black Moon and the Black Moon Shadaloo. And just like, everyone's just like downing their drinks. It's ridiculous.
There was a point where I think you were like 2 shots behind, and I was like, Rory, you have to have your shots. And you were like, shh, Alicia,
no one knows.
Shut up.
I had a shot as well, and then I think Gav did one, and he was like, powers. And I was like, you son of a bitch. Like, that's just drowning in amaretto, which was a terrible choice, by the way.
I was about to say, we were doing shots of amaretto. Who does that? Who does that?
It was such a bad idea as well, because we started after work, which is a very, very good idea. But there was a little gap in between, so I was just like really stupidly having some like relaxing beers beforehand. So I think I had like I had like 2 punk IPAs, and then we started, and I was like, that was a terrible idea. It was absolutely terrible.
Not for the video, it wasn't.
If you've seen Drunk History, it's kind of along that theme. The idea was that we play this drinking game while we are playing through the story mode, and then we all have to sit down in an interview situation and recall what we just experienced.
It's like a Big Brother diary room sort of situation where you have to sit there and confess to camera what you think the story was.
The story is batshit crazy. It is absolutely insane.
As a sober man, I didn't know what the f*** was going on. So when you guys were God knows how many drinks deep, And blimey.
Thing is, I can't even. We were meant to sit there and remember like things from the story. I can't even remember sitting down talking about
Really?
the story. And
Oh
I
my
was
God.
I have blackouts, so I'm really worried.
I
to
remember
see
it
the
vividly.
footage.
At the end of the we came in the next morning and we were all just like talking, and I was trying to like piece everything together from the night, and then I heard Gav laughing at his desk beside me, and I was like, what are you laughing at now? And he's like, I just remembered when you fell off your chair, Rory. Apparently afterwards we were playing Overwatch, and I got so relaxed that I leaned so far back and just fell over my shoulder. Oh my God.
That was the best idea or the worst idea. That when we were so drunk, we then let's all play Overwatch.
I know.
And we had these randomers coming into our party.
I really hope they weren't IGN listeners as well, because
Yeah.
just screaming, why is there no Reinhardt?
So when this podcast actually goes up, the first episode will be
Yeah.
available
Yeah,
as well,
the
isn't
first
it? So
live
you can watch it on the
today.
site right now. So
You
go to
can.
IGN.com. Drunken Master.
And then on Monday, I believe, we'll be filming the second part.
Yes.
Which, I don't know. I don't think I've learned my lesson. I think I might get as drunk or even drunker than we did the last
I
time.
really don't know why we're doing these on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Oh, I felt so
fun by me.
bad.
It's fun by me.
I felt so bad. I messaged the next morning and I was like, I'm going to be late. But then as soon before I could hit send, Joe's message popped up. It was just working from home. I was like, okay.
The only
I'm
one
not
who
gonna
looked
lie.
fine was Gav, like veteran,
He's a
obviously
Welshman.
veteran drinker.
Yeah.
He just came in, he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Everyone else looked worse for wear in the morning. It's like,
oh my God.
We
ropey.
did not look.
Just to give you an idea of how insane the story is, the first scene is you waking up, but it's a dream,
Yep.
and there's a sheep that becomes a man who stabs you with his fingers.
And the man looks like Tarzan on crack.
Didn't the sheep have a haircut as well?
The
He did. He
sheep-
had my hair.
Yeah,
The sheep had my
Rory.
hair.
Imagine Rory as a sheep
Not
who
hard.
then morphs into Tarzan, who then tries to kill you, and then
Yeah.
you wake up and there's a really odd blonde Russian lady who bends over you and is like, I want to nurse you.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's good.
Здравствуйте.
And then imagine telling that story after like 8 beers and like 6 shots. It was an absolute mess, but it was also really, really fun and hopefully fun to watch. So as Dale said, you can check it out. Drunken Master, it is on site as we speak. We got some really cool news this week. I don't know how hyped you guys are.
You
for,
say really cool.
I'm ecstatic about this news.
I'm not sure it's cool though.
All right, I'm going to say 2 words to you guys, and you can put it on a scale of 1 to 10.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Power Rangers. Where are we at? What are we doing?
A 1
Rising and
out
falling.
of 10.
1 out of 10
If you'd have asked me 20 years ago, I might have said a 5.
in my Power Rangers onesie. What about you, Alicia?
I'm gonna say a 2.
Oh,
I'm probably slightly
generous.
more excited.
Well, would you be any more excited if I told you that Bryan Cranston was playing Zordon?
10. 10.
10, 11, 100. Alicia's having a panic attack. Bryan Cranston is returning to the Power Rangers franchise to play Zordon. Now,
That's
do you,
actually really cool. That's
do you
really
know
cool.
who Zordon is?
The main bad, I guess.
No, he's good.
Was
He's
he?
good.
Oh, is he the voice? The big and the
He's the
glass
floating
thing?
head. Yeah.
Oh,
Congratulations, Power Rangers. You have saved the world from, no.
That was an excellent
Did you audition
impression
for
of
it
my
as well?
transport.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I was like, Brian, mate, we need to have a word. 'Cause I work my ass off. I
Roy
don't care if you were in the
Powers is in the
original
name
one.
Power Rangers.
Exactly. Oh, my God.
Have you not got at least an extra role in this
I
film?
should be Jason. I should be the Red Ranger. I want to say it. You know, Rory means Red King.
Does it?
Yeah.
Who told you that?
My mom.
Yeah.
And Powers means Little Prince.
Did she say that to you when you
Red King, Red King Prince.
Little Prince. That sounds like my Apache Indian name. Chief Red King Little Prince. I say he's returning to Power Rangers because not a lot of people know this. Bryan Cranston actually voiced one of the monsters in Power
wow.
Rangers, the early series. Now, obviously, if you know Power Rangers, all the kind of combat and the fighting scenes were filmed in Japan and then brought over here and dubbed. And then they filmed all the stuff with the
Yeah.
American actors and kind of
didn't
slotted
know
All the
that.
American
together.
actors, they were just filming something like it was Grange Hill, just all the school stuff.
Yeah, and then they would get footage from
way.
Japan.
So the American actors never dressed up
Nope.
in
Nope.
the actual Power Ranger suits.
Unless it was a shot where they had their helmets off, they would just do all the scenes as teenagers.
If I was an American actor, I would feel so hard done by.
What?
I'd be like,
no,
That's an
they don't have
easy
to do any
gig.
of the hard work. They just do the bits, and then it's like, and then everyone sees you, and they're like, "You're the Red Ranger," and you're
They're
like,
not
"Yeah, I didn't do
cosplaying,
shit."
they're actors,
but
they're
it's
getting
the fun
paid.
bit.
They're like, let's work.
You
sign me
only
up.
get paid if you wear the helmet of the Power Ranger.
So he voiced one of the monsters that was filmed in Japan, which is essentially just a giant snake with arms and legs.
Oh.
And it's really great to listen to because you think that he would be like, Power Rangers.
I am the one who knocks.
Exactly, just like really freaky. But he's like, Power Rangers. He does like a really good like animated voice. That's a pretty good.
What was the
Power
name
Rangers
of the monster?
Snake Man? I don't know.
Big
Snake Master.
Snake Man.
Also, the blue Power Ranger, whose name is Billy Cranston, was named after Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
Exactly.
You sure about that?
I am absolutely
What,
sure.
his
about
surname was named after his surname?
that. Yes, it was. Well, obviously, Billy wasn't named after Bryan. Yeah.
Okay. Billy Cranston was the character name. I thought you meant it was the actor's name.
No.
What?
Can we have Bryan Cranston as a monster and also you, Bryan Cranston, as the Blue Ranger? That will get confusing. No. I mean, this is just the only cool casting we've had for this because we have Elizabeth Banks playing
I love her.
Rita Repulsa.
I love her.
She is the main villain. She's great, right?
She's a beautiful
like
ass.
What?
Beautiful ass.
Oh. Wow, I
What?
misheard
No,
that.
there was an L on that second word.
I was like, not really relevant, but Bryan Cranston's got a great ass too. If that's going around, he's doing pretty good for himself. She's playing Rita Repulsa. Now she's the main villain. She's like the horrible woman who like. I don't even remember what her motive was. It was just like she likes sending monsters to Earth and they had
World
to, like,
destruction, I guess.
World
domination, one of those. Yeah.
And stop the Power Rangers. I don't know why you'd want to stop the Power Rangers though. They're great. That's my summary. That's my
Maybe you're colorblind and they just rub it in your face.
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, who's the blue Power Ranger? Like, I don't know. Staring, pointing at the yellow, going, you maybe.
I had a friend in Northern Ireland who was colorblind, and he didn't know until he was like 12 years old.
Until he watched Power Rangers.
It was really late. Yeah, I think to him the grass was purple. But then again, so this is what I don't get. Like, how do you work that out? Because maybe my purple is your green.
I think you work it out when you say, oh, that's a nice green jumper you're wearing today. And it's like, it's purple, mate.
Yeah,
and then everyone else is like,
but
it's
what
purple.
if-
Yeah.
Yeah. What if? Yeah, you've always seen it as purple, but everyone else sees it as green.
Everyone else would correct you.
But no. But you don't say it's purple because your purple is their green, so you're both seeing the same color.
What is going on right now?
So the green screen, right?
Yeah.
You've been told that that's green.
Right.
To me,
Yeah.
that could look purple, but I've always thought
Called
that that's
green.
green. That's green.
Oh,
So your
okay.
purple is green.
So the word is the same, but yeah,
Yeah.
what
But it's
It's different. Yeah. So how would you ever know?
You'd never know. You'd
Well,
go to
people
If you know
obviously
how to
think-
tell if you're colorblind, please email us in at IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com. I might be colorblind. We
I'm
don't know
100%
this.
sure there is a way to find out. 'cause
Well, obviously, yeah, or else like, you wouldn't be able to tell.
We live in a world where you can get a kidney on eBay and a black market Picasso. Why can't we tell if
You
we're
can get a kidney on
colorblind?
eBay.
I was going to say, yeah, how much?
You actually
Buy it
can.
now. What's the
I mean-
P&P though? Imagine you got a freezer and stuff. So there's a whole
You
mess.
probably want
Nightmare.
next day on that as well. You don't.
You gotta
really
come and
want
collect only,
standard.
come and collect.
Yeah, you got to pay export fees and everything. It's an absolute nightmare. And you know when we're going to be out of the EU as well. Think about that.
Well, we
Kidney
don't-
prices.
We don't.
When this podcast goes out,
listeners will know.
they will know.
Oh,
we
yeah,
don't know right
that's
So
now.
we're in or out, shaking it all about.
Should have a bet?
I would.
What should we bet? What should we bet?
I think it would. It's not my personal opinion, but I think it's going to be in.
You think it's going to be in?
Staying in.
Are you?
I'm
a
not saying my
leaver?
opinion isn't that.
Are
I'm
you
saying,
a leaver?
No, not.
Oh, okay. Because you
I was
said
trying to leave
you said
personal-
it's not my opinion, but I
I was
think we're
trying to
gonna be
leave
in.
personal
Stay
politics
in,
out
we'll
of this.
die. Personal opinion.
Let's leave personal politics out of it. Just a pure. What do you think it's going to be?
I think it's neck and neck. It's very close. I'm going to spice it up. I'm going to say leave.
Ooh.
Enjoy our last 24 hours, folks, because we are out of here.
I'm gonna. Well, no. See now you
Take your personal opinions out of it.
Personal opinions out of it.
Team Roy, Team Dale.
No, I do think it's going to be in. I think it's
you
going to
think
be
it's
in.
gonna be in?
So
We'll find out.
If we win,
I'll have to get deported. I'll go back to America. It was funny. I was like,
What should we really do that story? Should we?
again, like I was just editing at my desk the other day, and then Gav just turned to me and he was like, Rory, if we leave the EU, will you have to go home? And I was like, no, Gav, it's okay. He was like, okay.
Aw.
I was like, go back to
His
editing.
vote was hinging on that.
yeah.
He's probably got mad because he's just staring at us being drunk, like on his
Poor guy.
monitor, just
Editing the
talking
drunken master.
nonsense. I do not envy him for having to do that edit.
Yeah.
It's probably an absolute nightmare.
How did we get onto this?
Oh yeah, how did we get on
Colorblind, obviously, Dale. Pressing issue in the games
How did
industry.
we get onto
Power
that?
Rangers. Because all of them are different colours. I like Skittles. Imagine eating Skittles if you were colourblind. It'd
be terrible.
It would be terrifying.
Well, see, I used to think, what's it gonna be? Is it purple?
I don't know what colour it is, but it still tastes awesome.
As in, you don't know if you're gonna get like a green or
No,
orange?
because I didn't like the purple. The purple was really horrible, but I liked every single other. So it would be like playing Russian roulette every time.
Like always eating Revels.
Yeah. Oh, Revel's the worst.
Russian roulette, a bit extreme. Yeah, like this is a minor inconvenience for me. Not like Russian roulette where you die.
Did you know?
Taste the risk.
Did you know with Smarties, the orange one is the only one that has a different flavor to it, and the rest are all just different colors?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think
orange
they're
one
all
is the
different
best.
flavors?
Do you remember on
not just orange
Smarties
chocolate?
when they used to have like the cardboard tubes?
Oh, yeah.
And they had the tops, and the
yeah.
top had a letter on the inside.
Try to
Did you ever
collect the
collect
alphabet.
them?
Yeah.
Collect the
Oh,
alphabet.
yeah.
It's like the primitive version of Pokemon, wasn't it? Just like, collect the alphabet. Yeah.
Got a Z. Two Z's for an A. Two Z's for an A.
Gotta
Little
catch 'em
banana
all.
in the stock market in the corner. Two Z's for an A. Got an A. So I mean, that was obviously a really important topic as well
Yeah.
in the games
Yeah.
industry.
No,
Everyone's
it's
talking
good.
about
It's
our
good.
favorite things.
Yeah, should we get
really
us back on track?
there, guys.
Absolutely. Dale, we got to go and watch The Conjuring 2.
I'm
We
so
did,
jealous.
but we got an extra special thingy, my bob, beforehand.
The weirdest continuation of a
I
segment.
didn't know where I was going, so I just started saying words. So what we got to do was like a live horror experience, I guess is the way to call
Has
it.
anyone talked about this on the podcast?
No,
yet?
they haven't. That's why I wrote it down.
I'm so excited for this. I'm going to kick off.
Yeah, go on,
I'm going
go
to
for it.
absolutely kick off. Well, we'll talk about the good part of it.
Yeah.
To start. So we got to go see The Conjuring 2, which I think we all really enjoyed. You had to leave halfway through, but I think you.
But I've
saw
gone to see it again with my girlfriend, and we really enjoyed it. Yeah,
really
it was
great.
good,
I mean,
yeah.
just like a really interesting horror movie. The characters are great, the story's good. Really good at capturing what it's like growing up in Britain. You know,
Definitely.
Just
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
nailed
Oh,
it.
is it set in the UK?
Yeah, so Enfield
Oh.
Poltergeist. Did you know that story?
No.
So after you've done this, go on Wikipedia or whatever and read about the Enfield Poltergeist. So
Look it
it's based on a true story, but with exaggerations too, because there's a good chance that was a hoax.
Yeah.
Right.
In real life, whereas this they've actually
Wait,
took
what?
It is,
What?
But
Ghosts
it's
are real?
based on a true story. It's what it
Ghosts are real.
So, for example,
Everything is a lie.
it's about Ed and Lorraine Warren who are going to investigate this. And
Is that their real names?
But in reality, they never actually went and investigated this, but they were real people as well. So they kind of mixed two stories together.
It's really well
It's
done.
good. It's good. It's
Okay.
good. Just watch
It's
it.
essentially it's a house in the UK where a family were harassed, and one of the little girls was apparently possessed by a number of ghosts.
It was some
And
demon, wasn't it?
yeah, and it was at a really good point as well, where obviously they had the technology to record audio and video, so you can go on YouTube and see the original recordings and things. And it's
That's
like
cool.
when we were watching the movie, I didn't really know a lot about the original story.
Yeah.
So the girl in the movie is doing the voice, like the demon voice, and I was like, well, the first time I heard it, I was kind of like chuckling a little bit because I was like,
Yeah.
that's a bit. I don't know. It's a bit
Demon
in your face.
101.
It's a bit weird.
Like horror movies have learned to be a bit more discreet when it comes to like showing, what the monster is. And this was just a girl talking in the voice.
Yeah.
But then if you go watch the YouTube video, it is literally a little girl doing this exact same voice.
What's the voice?
Ugh.
Can you do the voice?
I can do.
Hello, I'm Bill, and I'm 72 years old. That's a little 11-year-old girl.
What are you doing in my house?
But she like her mouth like doesn't move, and she's just like sitting there, and it's like, it's really freaky. I mean, I'm with you. I do believe the whole thing is like,
Of course. But you can see in that video now as well, I think it's apparent that it was a hoax. But it still made a really good story for a
Absolutely.
film. And I think where we saw it really helped us. So I saw it in a normal cinema afterwards, and I didn't find it half as scary, whereas where we were, it was so loud, it was so intense in close quarters. And it was like an old
Yeah.
abandoned building as well. So it really like intensified the horror.
Was it proper cinema seats you were sat in, or were
No,
they like
they were-
hard wooden stools?
Well, it was like a.
were
I guess
cinema
more of a
seats.
theater. It was more like
Yeah.
a small theater.
Right.
There were cinema seats, but what didn't look like an actual like
It was
cinema.
definitely wasn't new seats either. They were like really
Yeah,
old.
because
sort of
that
seats.
totally
Yeah.
adds to the effect.
Absolutely.
You're sat there kind of.
And
But one of the things that made it so scary was beforehand
Yeah.
we got to go through kind of like a live experience relating to the movie. So we got to go through. They had kind of like recreated some of the sets from the film,
Yeah.
and we had to go through them with a guide. And you get spooked and scared and. it was pretty. Like,
if you've been to, there's a Saw ride at Thorpe Park, I believe.
Yeah,
and it's like one where you walk through it. It's very much like that, where you're being guided through it. And at the start, it's like, we'll be taking you for a tour through all the sites. And then it all goes terribly wrong halfway through. And then they're just trying to scare you all the way through it. But do you know what? It was so much fun.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It's really great as well because they videoed the whole thing, all the groups that went through, so they sent us a video of us going through it. I didn't realize how scared I was until I was watching the video.
Your face.
These guys were fine though. I was like cowering away from like every shadow. My favorite bit is when you went into this room, and again, relative to the movie, there's a picture right in the distance of the horrible nun demon woman.
An evil nun.
that witch.
Yeah.
And it's like a painting of her. And then as you guys get closer, you're kind of watching it. And then all of a sudden, you don't realize it's so dark, but it's on a track and it shoots forward, like flying at you. So you're just like, oh, revolting in fear. But then of course it stops like right in front of you. So you're like, oh my goodness. What you don't realize is that right here in the shadows is an actual person dressed as the nun who's been waiting there.
I hate that.
So it stops and you're like,
much.
oh. And then she just went and just popped out. Like,
She does a duck impression.
I shit myself, at the haunted duck. It just popped up. And Dale just turned and went, you all right?
Of course you did.
It did make me jump, but it made me laugh more than anything, I think. The best bit,
Such
though,
a badass.
was when we were going in, they said, oh, you're in 2 groups of 3. So there was us 3, me, Dan, and Rory, and there was 3 other girls. And then we walked in, and then there were 7 of us. And when we walked in, I was like, why is it? I thought they said there were 6. Oh, well, carry on. And then halfway through, there's a bit when you go into a recreation of their living room, and then all of a sudden the wall starts shaking and things flying off the wall. And then the girl at the back starts having a panic attack. And there was a brief second, I don't know about you, Roy, but I completely bought that this girl was actually having a panic
Try a brief
attack.
minute. I was like, we need help, someone.
And
like
then
take
I
off
know
my shirt and put it around her head. It's gonna be okay.
And then out of nowhere, she levitates off the ground and goes flying up into the roof.
She's on like a cable.
Yeah.
She's
was
like a
an actor.
plant.
Yeah, and like I said, if I'd have put 2 and 2 together, it would have worked out. But there's a brief second, and on the video, the best thing about that is everyone looks concerned about this girl, but you can see in the background Dan's there just taking a photo of the set. He's not bothered about that girl in the slightest. He's like, fuck her, she's gone.
She's gone.
We
but
get left behind.
I want to Instagram this shit.
Just move on. So it's good because then by the time you actually get to the screening, you're already kind of like shaken up, and you've also got to experience some of the sets. So then when it comes to that part in the movie, you're like, oh, that's the creepy tent in the living room that we had to like crawl through, and you know, it really did play into a huge part of it.
The tent was the worst part for me because nothing happened, but you crawl through it and you feel like something is going to happen at any point.
Fort.
No, but that's the best because that's classic horror movie trope. You know, get you to a point where you think something's going to happen. It's the terror of something about you that doesn't. And it's like the Sixth Sense tent. What is it with tents and children in horror movies?
I'm just thinking we've got the video of this as well, so maybe we'll put it up on our Twitter or something, or actually one of our
Probably
Twitters.
put it in the article. Link it in the article.
Totally. Yeah, so people can have a look, so you can see for yourself. Like, come on the article and you can have a look.
Rory's face.
Oh, Jesus. I did say to the girls as well who were going with us, I was like, if anything starts to kick off, I will push you over as bait. It's like, I'm not getting grabbed or like
you're my human shield.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
So that was a really cool experience. Going to see the movie was a cool experience.
Yeah.
There was only one con of the whole night, which was that was the worst group of people I've ever seen a movie with in my entire life. Gav would have just shot himself. No. It was...
So you know we talk about in this podcast about people making noise in cinemas, talking in cinemas on their phones. Like we all hate that.
Did they use their phones?
Oh, beyond.
Yeah, beyond.
Did they use their laptops?
Okay. So first off, Mum, if you're listening, turn off the podcast. Things might get a little bit sweary, so I just want to...
Here come the swears.
Some anger's about to come out now, some pent-up rage.
Does your mum actually listen to this podcast?
No,
that'd be awesome.
So. I don't think so.
Hello, Mrs. Powers.
Usually in a situation like this, as we said, with like Gav, you can like say something, you can be like, excuse me, do you mind like keeping it down? I'm trying to watch a movie. But it was everyone. Yeah. It was everyone. So you could only leave. You couldn't like silence an entire crowd of people.
They were so
oh my
loud.
God.
Right behind me was my biggest pet peeve, which is somebody walks through a door. Oh my God, they're walking through a door.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They picked up a remote. Oh, they're picking up a remote now.
You outward process
that
the whole
fucking
thing.
drives me insane.
Sitting beside Dan was the biggest bellend you have ever met in your whole life. He was a cartoon of a lad.
Yeah,
he was such a twat. Anything that happened, like there was at one point where the girl was walking down the hallway. He's comical. He would be sitting back in his chair and just screaming at the TV going, what are you doing going down there, love? Screaming that at the television. And he's like, you idiot, it's haunted. And it's like, that's the fucking point. It's a horror movie. That's why he's going in there. Oh, he was an absolute dickhead.
Why would you do that in a cinema?
It was
I have a theory
mental.
though why it was so bad at this particular showing, and I believe that in that situation, like if people are genuinely feeling fear, and comedy is a good release and escape from fear. Like if you're making a joke about the situation,
This
then they're
guy
not
was
looking
just
scared.
a dick. Afterwards, I asked Dan, and I was like, "Oh, what did you think of the movie?" And he was like, "Yeah, I think I would have enjoyed it more if I wasn't sitting beside Dapper Laughs." He was like, "It was mental," and then like that was bad enough getting that like in my ear nonstop. As you said, the freaking cast of the Jersey Shore behind us yammering on constantly there because it has the guy who's the lead character from Insidious.
Yes. What's his
Patrick
name?
Wilson.
Patrick. Yes.
Exactly. And I can hear them all being like, what's he from? What's he from? The whole movie. And they're so far
should've
apart, they have to yell over each other in both of my ears.
Constantly getting up, getting beers as well, weren't they? Like non-stop getting up.
And then it got to a point, it was like a really tense moment. And it's like, something was about to happen. The characters are having this really deep conversation. And all I can hear from behind me is this shriek going, Insidious! It's the man from Insidious!
It's all coming back to me.
And
when
then
you
she
say-
goes to all of her friends and goes, it's Insidious. It was the guy, he was the lead character in Insidious. And I was like
Insidious.
trying to strangle myself.
She actually did that as well.
Actually trying to die because of what was happening. It was the worst thing ever. Oh my God.
I am so sorry, guys. That sounds horrific.
I cannot. It was unbelievable.
bad.
Like, I met Biff from Back to the Future. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely insane. And it was just that horrible situation where it's like, if it was those two people, you could have said something. But then everyone was up, everyone was getting beers, everyone was so loud. Like,
I don't know
just
who these
screaming,
people were
yelling,
as well, because we thought it was a press event.
Yeah,
But
I
it
was
became
gonna
apparent that it obviously wasn't, because there was a lot of people there. They didn't look like they were press in the slightest.
Well, because press are very well behaved at press events.
It wasn't just that. It just felt like the people there on party nights out more than actually like going to see the film because they've been
Maybe
invited
there
as
was some
press.
sort of competition.
That's
to go
what.
see an
Yeah, it
early
must be
preview,
something like
maybe.
that, because it was a very weird situation. But the haunted house stuff was awesome before. And the film was really good, so I strike it as a win of a night.
A win overall.
I'll forget about that one minor thing.
Strike it traumatic from your brain.
I just remembered a bit as well that Dan was like laughing at so much. Like this guy just like, he was just filling every silence with his friends. At one point it was like the morning and the family was haunted. We're just like eating a bowl of cereal. And he just went, huh, Frosties? And just nudged him and was like,
That's actually funny.
We all see it. Yeah, there's a bowl of fucking Frosties on the table. Oh, I was so angry. And I'm not an angry person. I'm genuinely not an angry person. This just pushed me
I can
over
just
the edge.
imagine you standing up
so
in the centre
furious.
of the cinema. Being
I was
like,
so close to leaving.
silence! I will turn this film around.
And
can't
this guy, because
imagine.
it was him and it was like 4 of his friends. And at one point he got up to leave the bathroom. None of them said anything for the whole 10 minutes he was gone. They didn't say a word. They just sat there. He comes back and he's like, excuse me, lads. Excuse me, lads. One of those guys that when he passes you, like, pats you on the shoulder, like all that. It's like, don't touch me, for one.
Whoa, don't touch
I
my
was like,
powers.
unbelievable. And then he sits down and he's like, what a miss, boys. And it's like, oh my God. It was just absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe people like that exist.
Wow. I don't think I
How are you not?
I wish Gav would have been there, because I would have just loved to see the spectacle of what he would have done.
Gav, I think, would totally have called them out. Gav
Oh
would
no,
have
he
been-
does anyway. But I mean, he would have exploded in this
Yeah.
situation.
But that's it. Like, again, there was just, because it was everyone, you would have had to leave. Because you could have stopped him, but then as soon as you have to stop
yeah.
those guys, the guys
Yeah,
behind you, the
that's
guys in
so
front, like
true.
everyone, it's like,
Yeah,
we were the minority.
We were the weirdos
Yeah.
in that situation.
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
that's it, that we didn't really fit in with the ruckus.
Yeah.
That's insane.
All right. Mom, you can turn the
really.
pot. Mom, you can start listening again. That's my little rant over. It's fine.
Calmness.
Your
breathing
little prince is
exercises.
back. It's all right. The little red kid.
Saying that, the stakes are about to get equally high.
Okay.
Well,
So we've got a brand new quiz because, as we all know, this Sunday is the finale of Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Which- But you're like 5 episodes behind, aren't you?
So
Rob?
far behind.
Jesus Christ.
We are in like DEF CON 5 here. Like this, we actually had a meeting this morning just with like everyone around one calendar just to try and find out how we're going to exist for the next couple months. Because Prepare to Try is back, all these shows are back, we got all this E3 buzz, IGN first. It's madness. And admittedly, that's taking up a lot of my Game of Thrones time. Also, season 5 was garbage trash, and I hated it
It's
a lot.
way better than season 5.
I have heard this one is
really
better,
good
but I
series.
don't also trust the people who watch Game of Thrones.
What?
Because they all told me that season 5 was
Do
the
you
best,
trust
and I watched that.
this guy?
Yeah. And this girl.
And The
I have-
Office?
I will definitely watch it, and maybe it's a thing. So wait, the finale is on Sunday.
So as this podcast is being recorded, we've just seen episode 9. Don't worry, no spoilers. It was
Yeah.
an amazing episode though.
Yeah.
So we're gearing up for the final episode
Yeah.
on Sunday.
Cool. So
So-
how many? Can I do that all on Sunday? Can I just blitz?
Yeah,
Totally, yeah.
absolutely. You could totally blitz it.
I might do that.
Do
It's
it.
like an hour an episode. So
Yeah.
Cool.
you said how many episodes you're in? 5?
Get some snacks. Grab my master sword.
Yeah.
2.
2. Oh, okay.
I mean,
So-
Wait, no.
So-
I haven't seen 2. I've seen 1 episode of this season.
So 8 hours of Game of Thrones.
8 hours
then.
of Game of Thrones.
Do a day.
This is a challenge.
Can you split it on Saturday? as
Can we
well?
do like drunken Game of Thrones? Is that a feature?
Well, especially because, and I'm sure Alyssa's going to go on to it, we've got the Game of Thrones quiz. I imagine there might be a spoiler or 2 floating around there.
Yeah, actually, no, that's a really fair
Oh,
point.
balls. I didn't even think about that. Is that going to be on 5?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
6? Okay.
There might
Probably
be, yeah.
some-
Oh,
there
sugar.
probably
I
will be
better
some
get on that.
But even people are just going to be talking about the show. So
Yeah.
you know stuff is going to
Because
come
people
up.
will be fresh from the. So I should probably explain.
Yes.
We've got a Game of Thrones quiz that we're doing. Is it next Tuesday?
Yeah,
Yes.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday,
So
yeah.
it's
Tuesday
a
evening.
massive Game of Thrones event that we're doing. We've got. I don't think we've announced the teams yet, but readers and audience of IGN are all coming together. They're bringing kind of all their fans together, and we're doing a massive pub quiz. And we've written all of the rounds. But obviously, because we've written the questions, we can't actually do a quiz. And because we can't talk about Game of Thrones for spoilers,
Because of Rory.
because of Rory,
Oh, come on. Come on.
I thought, let's do our own Game of Thrones quiz.
Yes,
Game
bring
of
it
Thrones
on.
quiz, Game of Thrones quiz. But,
Sorry, we probably should have joined in then.
yeah, you should. Wait. Can we do it? Right, so if you guys go,
Game of Thrones.
quiz, Game of Thrones quiz, Game of Thrones quiz,
Game of Thrones quiz, Game of Thrones quiz, Game of Thrones quiz, Game of Thrones quiz, Game of Thrones quiz, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones quiz, Game of Thrones quiz, Game of Thrones quiz, Game of Thrones quiz, Game of Game of Thrones quiz.
All I've got in my head is wiener, wiener,
I know,
wiener.
same as here. One wiener next to another. Will that be on the test?
That will be.
Is there a wiener
completely-
question on the test?
Absolutely. We'll be talking about Boltons.
Awesome.
And extra thing thrown in.
No,
there is
is this what I
forfeit.
saw? Oh, I saw this
There is
Forfeit. If
a
it's
forfeit. I want the stakes to be high on this.
I can see what it is in your hand
Yep.
already.
Yep.
God damn it.
So last week I bought in some 100% dark chocolate, which Gav tried. Gav obviously loved it. And this week I bought
This is
in.
a 100%
It's
black
got
soul.
The Grim Reaper.
Oh my God, I want-
on the front. Don't know if you guys.
Wait, so that's not even the one that he ate?
No, this is a different one. This is not.
That was
100
foul, though.
This is not 100%. This is dark chili chocolate with ghost chili, lemon oil, and
Piss off.
geranium.
I want-
Ghost chili. Isn't that
chili.
the one that's like
In chocolate.
the mental one?
Yeah.
Rory needs to lose this part because he hates spicy food as well. So that'd be even better for
Yeah,
me.
a little backstory. I had to brush my teeth with Punch and Judy fruit toothpaste till I was like 14 because my mouth is so sensitive I couldn't handle mint toothpaste.
But what is Punch and Judy toothpaste?
It's like
that something they only have
strawberry.
in Ireland?
Yeah, it's like strawberry flavored toothpaste for like children.
I want to see you gargle Listerine.
What?
I've never heard of this toothpaste.
That was
We
like
need
a
to buy
really
some.
weird, like sexy thing. It's like, oh, I'd love to see that person gargle Listerine.
Because Listerine is like an explosion in your mouth. Anyway, before that, I want to see you eat dark chili chocolate. But this all hinges
Oh,
on
please don't
whether
lose,
you know
Rory.
your Game of Thrones.
This is going to be mental if I lose. I'll have to leave.
Just talking to yourself.
Can we not?
Please don't lose, Rory.
Daily affirmations.
Those
You're a
were-
strong, independent woman, and you can eat and brush your teeth like a man.
Those sentences are supposed to happen in your head, not out loud.
You know, if I lose this, I'm not going to be able to make it through feedback. I'm going to be out.
You better not lose them, mate.
All right, we've got 7 questions.
Oh no!
Gearing up. Question 1.
Wait, is this a speed thing?
This is
like
a, yeah.
buzzer
So
thing?
you
Okay.
go. Actually,
Right
we
then.
should probably make up the buzzer noises.
That'd be really bad for audio banging the table.
Oh, sorry, I won't do
yeah.
that.
Let's just shout your name. Shout your name, and that means you get to answer. Yeah.
Okay.
Red King. Let's go.
All right. There's a mix of difficulty as well. So, question 1. What is the name of Lysa Arryn's breastfeeding, slightly terrifying son?
Dale. Robin, Aaron.
Sounded like you were saying his name's Dale.
Yeah, it's just so funny because your name kind of sounds like a buzzer.
That's not actually his name in the books. His name is Robert in the books. Isn't it?
Yes, very well done. I mean,
get an extra point?
That's kind of like an extra point. Oh, I don't have a pen.
Well, we didn't establish extra
remember.
points. Also, what's the forfeit if you don't get the answer right? Can I just say my name really quick and then guess?
Say my name.
And it means if you get it wrong, then I just get a free time to guess,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Free time to think.
Sugar.
Okay, right.
I've lost.
Rory's got a pen. Rory's got a pen here.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know we were looking for one.
There we go. I was about to write it in my phone. Okay,
I actually feel sick already.
right.
I need a glass
Question
of
2.
milk.
Which indie band made a cameo appearance?
Oh, for
Coldplay.
fuck's sake.
No.
Oh, wait, no, I know.
Sugar Ross.
Yes!
Yes!
The full question was at the Purple Wedding.
It was at the Red Wedding. The Red Wedding, they had the Coldplay drummer.
It was amazing.
I got too cocky.
I'm
You
still
were
in
like
this.
in them.
Still in this. Wow, I just got so
Okay.
excited.
All right. Question 3. What does Valar Morghulis mean?
Oh, shit, I do know this.
Valar Morghulis.
It's something to do with death, doing something.
Rory.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have buzzed myself. Death. I don't know.
I can't think of what it is. It's something like that. I know it is.
What is dead can never die?
Oh, I mean, that's close.
What
That's
is-
close. It means all men must die.
Oh, I was thinking of the other one.
Valar Morghulis. Question 4. Okay, this is really hard.
Okay.
What were the circumstances of Ramsay Bolton's birth?
No one's buzzing in.
Rory.
Yeah.
Pregnant woman. Technically not
When a
wrong.
man and a woman give each other a special hug.
So I don't know what
9 months later.
I don't know what answer you're looking for, but obviously he's a bastard, and
Yeah.
there's Roose Bolton just having sex with some prostitute.
Not good enough. Not
No,
good
so
enough,
I
yeah.
think, okay, Roose Bolton is an evil, evil man.
Well, not as evil as Ramsay.
Well, he's still pretty evil. What do you think
Oh, rape.
he'd...
Yeah.
That was wrong. That was wrong. I was just gonna go as far to go unconsensual sex. But else is like, oh right, yeah.
Who did he rape?
Alvin.
though? Who did he rape?
Well, see, that's part of the question. I'm going to give you half a point.
Yeah. We'll
Oh
take
come
that.
on.
There you go. It's because Roose Bolton discovered that a miller had wed without his permission, so he went and hanged the miller and raped his
Do you know
wife.
what? Bloody knew that as well.
Yeah,
Damn it.
yeah. Half a point.
Pregnant woman though. That should be half a
Pregnant
point.
woman.
She was still there.
The birds and the bees.
Question 5. In the TV series, a replica of a famous sword from a completely separate film franchise is forged inside the Iron Throne. Who do you think that sword belongs to?
In Game of Thrones.
In Game of Thrones.
Or
no,
in the fictional.
As in, so this...
I don't even know what the.
This
Oh, so
famous-
the other fiction. Who does it
Yes,
belong
this
to?
famous sword belongs to a fictional character from a completely separate franchise from Game of Thrones. This is-
Aragon.
You're close. It's in the same film.
Rory.
Yeah.
He didn't buzz.
You didn't buzz.
Um.
It is a Lord of the Rings character.
Oh, Boromir.
That wasn't buzz.
No.
You have to buzz. It's my buzz.
No.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
it's still wrong.
There are rules, Dale.
Legolas.
No.
Legolas doesn't have a sword.
He's got little little
Yeah,
swords,
but that's
two
not
little
what I'm looking
daggers
for.
Okay.
on his back.
It's a really. I can tell you the name of the sword if that helps.
Sauron.
No.
Saruman.
The sword is called Glamdring. Who does Glamdring belong to?
Frodo.
No.
Gladriel? Oh, I don't know.
No.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me,
Come
because
on,
I'll just
guys,
name
you can
characters.
get this.
It's not a main character, is it?
It's a very main character. It's a member.
Bilbo.
It was,
No.
No, it's not Isildur, is it?
No. It's a member of the Fellowship.
Oh, God.
What? Gimli?
No.
He doesn't have a sword. He's
God,
got
you
an
literally
Gandalf.
got
Gandalf.
Yes!
Boom! God damn it! No!
So Gandalf's sword, a replica of the sword from the film, is forged inside the actual Game of Thrones.
That's
in
a
the
good
TV
question.
Series. Okay, question 6.
I'm gonna have to eat that chili.
Okay, so actually, score-wise so far, it's very, very close. It's half a point in it. Dale's on 2.
No,
No, I'm on
one.
2.5. He's on
I'll take.
one.
I'll take.
Oh, yeah,
no, I'll take
that's
2 points.
true.
No, I'll take 2. I'll take
Sorry,
2. I'll take 2.
there we go. Dale's on 2.5. Rory's on 1.
Can I
it's
still
not- it's
win?
not close. You can still win. Question 6. George R.R. Martin deliberately wrote the books to be unfilmable, but after the Fellowship of the Ring success in 2001, he was approached to turn his novels into a series of films using only one storyline from the novels. Whose storyline do you think the producers chose?
Rory.
Yeah.
Jon Snow.
No.
Dale. Daenerys.
Oh, well done.
What's up, Rory? Looks like you're eating some chili, boy.
No, winner takes all. Last question. Winner takes all. Winner takes all.
Okay, last question.
I'm gonna get it anyway.
So yeah, I'm sorry, Rory, but this is for your pride. Number 7. What are the names of the 3 continents that make up the world of Game of Thrones?
Right, Dale. Westeros, Essos, and oh my God, what is the other one? It's the one, and there's actually 4, isn't there? Isn't there a northern one and a southern one?
Rory, Mordor, Middle Earth,
Joe,
Arkham City.
I can't remember the name of the other one, but it's something like Southos or something stupid like
Southos,
that.
Westeros.
There we go.
There we go. Well done. Well done. In which case, the final scores are Dale has 4.5. Rory has 1. Rory, all men must eat chocolate. Oh, that is the face of a very unhappy man.
Powers always repays his debts.
I was literally gonna say that.
Okay, one
What
single
about winter's
square.
coming? Can I have one of the other ones?
Chili is coming.
My house motto would be: "A Powers always ducks away from a challenge."
All right. Right.
That's what we yell right before we flee.
Into the night.
There you go.
Is this supposed to be hot? Is this 100% chocolate?
No,
Or
it's
this
not
is
100%.
just chili?
So this is
Smells rank.
Black Widow, dark chocolate with ghost chili, lemon
Black Widow
oil,
is a spider.
and
Why would you
geranium.
put that in
the
your
brand
chocolate
is
bar?
Black Widow.
What is ghost chili?
Ghost chilies are like, well, ghost peppers
a chili
are like,
that's died and then gone into the
Awesome.
afterlife.
yeah, resurrected.
You become a chili.
Right, should we do a countdown?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a countdown.
No, actually, just do the Game of Thrones quiz song for me to like
Okay,
motivate me.
would motivate. Okay, do you want to do the Game of Thrones?
Yeah, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones,
Game of Thrones,
Game of Thrones.
Oh, you can taste the. Oh,
Not as bad as I'd hoped.
He's retching.
Oh God, there we go.
Try retching.
oh, here comes the heat. Oh shit.
Bloodshot eyes.
Oh my god. It's actually really hot. We need a bucket.
No, he can't spit it out. He's shaking his head.
I'm actually crying a little bit. Oh.
He's gone so red.
Oh my god.
Your ears are red.
Oh, it's done.
It's done.
Oh.
Bitter aftertaste.
Wait, can I drink? Can I drink? Can I drink?
You can drink.
Good lord.
Is your nose running?
Oh, bless. I feel bad now.
His face is leaking.
Once again, why would people buy this chocolate?
This is actually from my mum.
Oh,
I went up.
sorry, Mrs.
Oh.
Judge.
I went up at the
Your
week-
mum is a ghost pepper. Floating around.
She very much likes spice. Hi, Mum.
It's not going. Ooh. Oh god, that's
Get
horrible.
some milk. We need some milk.
You know what? Like even 100% chocolate is terrible. It doesn't taste. It just tastes like dirt. It's just so like so grim.
You need milk in your chocolate.
Did you taste the lemon oil and the geranium?
No,
What does geranium taste like? You plant that in your lawn.
that sounds like a material from the Marvel universe. Like adamantium, geranium,
Unobtainium.
yeah, unobtainium.
The worst named thing
what a
ever.
stupid name.
Right.
Did you get that rarium? Oh yeah, the unobtainium.
In Ratchet and Clank, it's raritanium as well, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah, the hard to findium. All the big ones.
Okay, feedback.
Woo. Yes.
I've got the first piece to let
Good.
Harry relax a little
We'll
bit.
let you recover.
This is from Chris Bolton, or Boulton.
Bolton!
With a U in it, though.
Okay.
So, not that bad.
We'll forgive him.
I feel terrible.
My girlfriend and I are expecting our first child in September. So, congratulations, Chris. A girl, apparently, and we're struggling to come up with names. I'm a die-hard Zelda fan.
Yes.
I'm laughing because of Rory, by the way.
Fanning me with favor.
He's a die-hard Zelda fan, but I thought my girlfriend is tolerant of, though my girlfriend is tolerant of my nerdiness, naming our daughter after Princess wasn't going to happen. She is considering Saria, though. I live in the historic Forest of Dean on the Welsh border of England,
that sounds
and naming our daughter after the forest sage seems appropriate, especially the cute forest elf with her own awesome song named after her. My question is, would any of you do this, or should I stick to a conventional name?
Wait. So what's the name? Saria?
Saria.
So I believe that's a character from Legend of Zelda.
It's a character from Ocarina of Time, yes.
Okay.
She's like the forest age. She's kind of like your childhood friend as well. You grow up together. This is actually a really interesting email, and I absolutely love it. Not just because my son will be called Link. Link Powers.
Link Powers.
He's going to be like captain of the football team. He's going to be like the prom king. He's
Do you
gonna
really
be like
think that?
Absolutely.
It's called
Link
Link.
Powers? Oh my God, are you freaking kidding me?
Link Powers.
Captain of the football team.
But because of that, I'm in the same boat. If I have a daughter, when I have my daughter, I don't know. I
You could
don't
call
think
her
Zelda's
Link.
a bit one. I could, yeah.
Female Link.
I think Zelda is a step too far, but Saria sounds like a really nice name. And
I think Saria
if you
sounds
don't know Zelda as well, it just sounds like a nice, beautiful name.
Yeah. Absolutely. And as you said, like if you live in a foresty part of the world, that just like adds to the beauty behind it.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that, you can get a really nice name out of something really simplistic.
Yeah.
My name, for example, my dad actually named me after a TV cowboy called Rory.
No way.
Yeah, it was just some that he used to watch when he was a kid, and he just thought was really cool. So when he's like, "Oh, when I have a son," like being a parent, I assume I have no authority to speak on this behalf. I assume it's a bit like character creation. So you have this little guy, and you're like, "Oh, this is like my kid." So it's like, what do I want to call him? I want to call him something cool, and I'm going to raise him up, and he's going to be like an awesome person.
Yeah. Choose number 13 nose, 14
Number 13
haircut.
nose, yeah.
Rory, I have seen you creating Finchie and Prepare to Try, and I am concerned for your offspring.
Oh my God.
Imagine you guys coming to my son's birth and he's just like, kill me. Just being sick on himself. And I'm like, isn't he adorable?
Every day is
His
agony.
name is Saria. I think Saria's a really, really
Yeah,
nice
absolutely. I think go for it. If
Yeah.
your wife's down, then go for it.
I
Absolutely.
think it's beautiful.
I'm gonna
It's
call
got
my
the official seal of approval.
name. I'm going to call my daughter Ganondorf. Little Ganondorf Powers.
Please don't do that.
That's not as beautiful. All right, I've got the second email. This is from Sand Goose.
I think his real
Hi,
name's at the
Sangoose.
bottom.
Oh yeah, CJ Thorpe.
Sand
Well,
Goose.
Mr. Sandoos.
It's like a Game of Thrones character, the Sand Goose. Siege's tower.
Brother to the Sand Snakes. Removed second cousin.
What is sand is never goose.
Okay, so CJ Thorpe says, "Hi guys, I'm 30 years old and have reached a point in my life where I feel a change of career path is in order. As someone who's been gaming since I was 5, I would love to work around video games in some context, but I have no background in writing, video production, coding, or anything useful like that. My skills and current career is in photography. I've worked as a professional photographer for various companies for over 10 years. I've always thought there would be no place for me in the video game industry, but having read a lot of articles about E3 this week, I noticed there are a lot of photographs. My question is, do companies like IGN employ photographers to cover events? If so, do you have any tips or advice on how I could get into the industry?" He's asking us for a job on one hand,
Yeah.
but also asking for some tips on an advice on how to get into the industry.
I chose this email because it reminded me of my situation, which was I didn't work in the games industry until last year. It was my first year, and I'm 33 years old. And before that, I spent 11 years as a sheet metal worker, which is in engineering. So what I'm trying to say here is there's always a chance. If you're really passionate about it and you really are driven to be in this industry, you can totally do it. You just need to work hard and just get on with it.
Completely.
Yeah. No, but absolutely, there's always an opportunity. IGN don't actually hire photographers full time, but there must be people out there in the industry that do.
Well, that's part of it, as you said, just kind of the way that the industry is moving and the games media world is moving. It's more on a focus on video content.
Absolutely,
so that's why we have a lot of video editors hired. In terms of photography, we don't really hire anyone specifically for photography, but we do hire people for example, graphic design. So obviously knowing Photoshop and things comes into it. And also companies will either hire people, you can work for them to, as you said, cover events. So you'll go to events like E3, you go to places like Gamescom to get these photos and get that sort of coverage.
Yeah, and he said about his skill set, he said, I don't have any background in this or that. And there's nothing stopping you acquiring those skills as well. Like, it's never too late in life to acquire new skills. Like everyone, I believe, I acquire new skills every day, really.
Yeah.
Learn new tricks and new whatever. And if you really want to do something, like Rory said, you can cross those skills into graphic design or something like that.
Absolutely.
And where we don't hire photographers, we might hire graphic designers and stuff. So, and there's plenty of other companies out there in the video game industry that I'm sure are looking for skilled people, hard workers. So absolutely.
It's like you say, it's all about putting yourself out there and kind of just, I think you have to be you have to work quite a lot off your own back. Like last August, I'd never done video before in my life. I'd never tried it. Had never video edited, and kind of just got randomly the opportunity to go to Sweden and make some videos with some game developers over there and run their YouTube channel. Showed up not knowing anything, literally said to them, guys, I know nothing about cameras. Got there and had to be like, how do you make the camera brighter? I learn about all that kind of stuff. And and a few months down the line, I'm now working at IGN as video host. Like, things move really quickly in our industry because it's such a young industry. Like the scripts are still being written for the industry, and if you can find a place to slot yourself in there,
absolutely,
then I honestly think we've got one of the most amazing open industries out there.
For me, you can always learn skills and teach skills. And what you can't necessarily teach is passion and drive as well. So if you're a hard worker and you're determined enough to do something, I don't think there's anything that can stop you, really.
Yeah,
I think as well, if you get the opportunity to actually attend an interview, if you show up and eat an entire ghost pepper chocolate bar, just there, right in front of them, just slam it in your face, no drinks, and then do your whole interview, it just shows you that you will do whatever it takes to host the IGN UK podcast.
Your streaming eyes will be taken as passionate tears.
I also get a lot of tweets and messages from people saying, like, are there openings at IGN UK or IGN US? Like, how do you find out about them? And the tip that I always give is, if you're looking to find openings in the industry, one of the best things to do is to actually follow editors-in-chief and people who work at the companies on Twitter. Because anytime there is an opening at any UK companies, I've seen people tweeting about it and retweeting. So, I mean...
Also, a top tip for anyone who wants to get into more the journalism side of things, there's a site in the UK called Gorkana, which is amazing. That's how
Cortana?
Cortana.
She's live.
And she's giving you journalism jobs. It's called Gorkana. You can set up alerts. That's how I heard about the role that I've got now. So that's, definitely Twitter and Gorkana.
I found out about mine on Twitter as well. I just saw Colin, who used to work in the US office. Just tweeting a link saying there's a bunch of jobs going at IGN. Next thing you know.
It probably sounds like it's this really, elusive thing, but it's really not, you know? And if you're really that passionate and you have the qualifications, I can't promise that it would be, in this office working with us, but there's such a huge industry at the minute and so many different roles to be filled. So just keep an eye out, keep working, and
build up your
you'll definitely get there.
Portfolio.
Absolutely.
Good luck, CJ.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to read number 3 before I vomit. I feel terrible. It's a mix between the chocolate and I just drank a whole thing of Pepsi Max, and it's just it's like a concoction inside of my stomach.
I want to say that I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Wow. This is Amelia, and she is emailing saying, as I've said before, the UK podcast is the best podcast on IGN that there is. I didn't choose this one just for that.
I put this one in because I wanted a nice happy end to the podcast.
That's a great way to end it. And I just wanted to make sure you all know that Alicia is a legend and a badass. And all of my friends and I consider her to be amazing. That's how it was written. I didn't just do that accent out of my own personal joy. Don't get me wrong, I love every single person on the podcast, but Alicia is number 1.
Oh gosh,
no need to get specific about it. Christ.
We're being ranked now.
Follow closely behind Gav and Dan. Thanks for that.
Whatever.
And then the shit ones, Chris, Dale, and Rory, Joe and Alex. Yeah, they're all right.
She didn't say the shit ones.
No, she said we're brilliant too, apparently, and dead last.
Yeah, we are all winners.
Yeah. How much fiery chocolate did Alicia eat? Amelia. Huh?
Oh, Matt,
Maybe you want to rethink that.
Thank you so much,
I thought it was a really
Amelia.
sweet email, so it's a really nice
lovely.
end to the podcast.
By the way, I crunch up all my emails. I'm not just doing this in a fit of
Rory's
rage.
literally just scrunched it in his fist.
He put the paper in his mouth for the benefit of the audio.
I never know how far to go with that gag.
Because it literally gag on it.
Could get to a sad point where it's like 5 minutes later and I'm still trying to eat this.
What would you rather eat? Another square of chili chocolate or that scrunched up paper?
The paper. I'd rather eat the paper.
Like a goat.
I'd rather eat the entire sheet of paper. So that was all the feedback from this week. One last shout out before we head. Prepare to Try is back. I know a lot of people watched season 1 and really enjoyed it. So this time me, Dan, and Gav are taking on Dark Souls 3. There isn't really a deadline for it, so it's kind of nice because we can take our time a bit more. We don't really have to cut it up and squeeze everything into hour-long slots. But at the minute, it's Monday and Friday every week. So if you enjoyed season 1, definitely check it out.
Awesome.
That's everything from us this week. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye.